Okay, so we're diving deep today into something uh, pretty wild, honestly.
Yeah, this one's definitely out there.
Yeah, so we're talking about a structure in Japan called the Masuda no Iwafune.
Hmm.
And someone sent this in as a suggestion for us, and I gotta say, at first I was like, a rock ship? What?
Yeah, I can see why someone would say that. Looking at the pictures, it's pretty striking.
It really is. It's this giant piece of granite,
Mm.
like 800 tons, they say, sitting on top of a hill shaped kind of like a boat.
Right, and it's got these two square holes cut right through it, which really adds to the whole mystery.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what were those holes for? Who made this thing? How did they even get it up there? So many
And
questions.
that's what we're here to explore. We're going to
Yeah.
dig into the existing research, what we know about the Masuda no Iwafuna, and maybe even throw out some possible explanations.
Yeah. But of course, as always, we got to make it clear we're not claiming to have all the answers.
Definitely not. This is more about looking at the evidence and the different theories out there, and letting our listeners draw their own conclusions.
Exactly. Yeah. So to start off, this Masuda no Yofune, it's in Asuka, right? In Japan.
That's right. Asuka is actually a really interesting place, archaeologically speaking. It's this region in Japan known for its ancient burial mounds and temples.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading about that. Those are from the Kofun period, right?
Exactly. The Kofun period lasted from around 300 to 538 AD. And it was a time when Japan was really starting to develop its own unique cultural identity.
So we're talking about a time when, like, the Roman Empire was still a thing.
Right around that same period. So imagine, while all that was happening over in Europe, you had these incredible structures being built in Japan.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Absolutely. And what's even more interesting is that some researchers believe the Masuda no Iwafun could actually be even older than the Kofun period.
Really. Wow. So we could be talking about something truly ancient here.
Possibly. And that makes those questions about how it was built and what it was used for even more intriguing.
Okay, so let's talk about the Masuda no Iwafune itself. We've thrown out some numbers, but paint a picture for our listeners. How big are we talking?
Imagine, if you will, a school bus. Now, picture that school bus carved out of solid granite. That's essentially the Masuda no Iwafun. It's over 35 feet long and 15 feet tall.
And it weighs 800 tons,
Oh, you
right?
got it. That's heavier than a Boeing 747.
So not exactly something you could just casually move around.
Not at all. And then there are those two square holes cut right through the structure.
Yeah, the holes. Those are a big part of the mystery, aren't they? What are some of the theories about their purpose?
Well, some believe they were for structural support, maybe to help stabilize the massive stone. Others suggest they were for ritualistic purposes, maybe for offerings or for channeling some sort of energy.
Or maybe even astronomical alignments.
It's possible, we just don't know for sure. But what we can say is that the precision of those cuts is remarkable. It definitely wasn't the work of primitive tools.
Which brings us back to the question of who built this thing and how. And there, you mentioned there are other megalithic structures in Japan.
Right. There's one called the Ishino Hoden, which is also a massive granite monolith. And guess what? It also has those square holes.
Wait, seriously, so there's a potential connection here.
It's definitely worth considering. The Ishino Hoden is located in the same region as the Masuda no Iwafun, and they both exhibit a level of craftsmanship that's quite sophisticated for their supposed time period.
So what do we make of this? Was there some ancient civilization in Japan with advanced technology that we just don't know about?
It's tempting to jump to conclusions, but we need to be careful. We don't have all the pieces of the puzzle yet, but these similarities do raise some fascinating questions.
Absolutely. And speaking of intriguing structures, you mentioned another granite monolith in Asuka. This one supposedly looks like it crash landed.
Ah, yes. It's a striking image, isn't it? This massive stone wedged between two cliffs, as if it fell from the sky.
Yeah, it's almost like something out of an Indiana Jones movie.
Right. But again, we need to be cautious about letting our imaginations run wild. While the visual is compelling, there's no concrete evidence to suggest it actually crash landed.
Okay, so we have these massive stones, expertly carved, with a purpose we can't quite pinpoint. And then there's the whole rock ship nickname. Was this thing ever really used for transportation?
Well, the nickname is definitely more imaginative than scientific. There's no evidence to support the idea that it was ever a seafaring vessel. It's more likely that the name came about because of its shape, which vaguely resembles a boat.
Yeah, I could see that. But I guess it's a testament to the power of these structures to capture our imaginations,
Yeah.
right? They make us question what we think we know about the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Masuda no Iwafun and these other megaliths challenge our understanding of history and technology. They're like puzzle pieces from a lost civilization waiting to be assembled.
So what are we left with? We've got these amazing structures, unanswered questions, and a lot of room for speculation. What's the one thing you think is most important for our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think it's the importance of keeping an open mind. We shouldn't be afraid to question what we think we know about the past.
Because new discoveries are being made all the time, right?
Exactly. What we consider impossible today may be common knowledge tomorrow. And who knows, maybe one of our listeners will be the one to unlock the next big clue about the Masuda no Iwafune.
Right. And that's what makes archaeology so exciting. It's a constant journey of discovery,
Yeah.
if only these stones could talk. But until then, it's up to us to keep digging, keep researching, and keep exploring the mysteries of our past.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So to all our listeners out there, keep those questions coming and keep those minds open, because who knows what incredible secrets are still out there waiting to be uncovered.
That's the fun part, right? The mystery.
Exactly. And hey, maybe someday we'll be back here on the Deep Dive talking about how one of you cracked the case of the Masuda no Iwafune.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
Until then, keep exploring, everyone.
And happy digging!